Hit toward third. Castro has it. Spins. Fires. A perfect game. Roy Halladay has thrown the second perfect game in Philadelphia.
Line drive, right center field. Base hit.
Ground ball over the mound. Waiting for it. Punching. He booted it. One runner's in. Here comes Swift to throw. Save! Harper hits one in the air. Left center field. Back it goes. Harper, the swing of his life. Fastball hit to left. It is long gone. And Hamels with a 3-2 pitch. Swing and a high fly ball. Deep center field. Herrera back on the track. And did he make the catch? He fell down and he's got.
Here's the strike by Robinson. The 3-0 pitch. Swing and long drive. There it is. Number 500. The career 500th home run.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Bell Smashers podcast. This is episode 23. I'm your co-host, Kylie.
And I'm Jen.
And welcome back to another episode. And before we get started, though, I'd like to just say, because I remembered this time, that we are brought to you by Fired Up Sports Podcast Network and Manscaped. Go ahead and go to manscaped.com. Use promo code BELLSMASH at checkout, and you get 20% off your entire order plus free shipping. They just released a whole bunch of stuff, and they have hair care for everywhere, and genuinely a top-tier website to get everything. So check them out. Now, let's get started. This past week, a little bit of a struggle.
As we're recording, they just left the bases loaded. The Phillies did. So, pretty typical.
Yeah. But hey, Trey Turner just hit his first home run as a Philly.
He did.
So at least there's that little positive note of the first few innings.
I agree. That has been a struggle that I don't think anyone was expecting.
No.
The top of before they started putting Stott at leadoff, that, Turner, Schwarber, Real Muto, all of those guys would be struggling. I mean, we have seen Schwarber and Real Muto have slow starts before, but nobody expected that to also happen with Trey Turner.
Yeah, exactly. And while he's still, he's still batting at well over 300, but he's not hitting as many home runs as we expected. To start out, again, it's the third week into the season, if that.
Yeah, we're I think tomorrow will be 3 weeks since the season started. And I mean, and that too, and this is why you can't always rely on statistics.
No.
His batting average is looking great, right? Because he can hit triples, doubles, singles. But what does any of that matter if you're not getting any RBIs from those?
Yeah, exactly. Or if nobody's getting on base.
Mm-hmm. Right. If you're doing it while the bases are clear and then your teammates don't get you to score.
Exactly, which is why it was great that Trey is batting second, because Stott, while his hit streak did end yesterday, the doubleheader, he did break the record, and it's 17. So that was at least we have that. But if he has a hit today, it is still a day record. I'm counting it. I don't care. It's counting as a days.
Yeah, we Everyone should know by now, Stott's your favorite player.
Yes.
I love him. I also, if you've been listening to us for a while now, you know that we said Stott, Marsh, Bohm, all of the remaining daycare kids, they're gonna absolutely break out.
Yeah, and man, have they broken out. Marsh hit a home run too. Like, they're getting it done while the veterans and I guess the retirement home folks,
Yeah.
as JT called them, as they get settled into the season.
And just imagine when Bryce Harper does come back and all the retirement home guys actually get back into the groove. That
Yeah,
lineup.
Taiwan Walker for Gold Glove. That was a good play.
Oh, I had my screen on the did he catch it in his glove?
It was a grounder.
Oh, okay.
It was good. No, but I mean, obviously, this has been a disappointing start than what even we expected.
Mm-hmm.
And we try to remain optimistic. You can be positive while also critiquing.
Yes, you can.
And it's trying to find that balance of being realistic, staying positive, but also like being aware of the issues. And the issues right now, the pitching needs to get consistent, and these guys need to hit with runners in scoring position.
I agree. I would add to that just consistency.
Yeah.
For example, yesterday's doubleheader, the first game looking great, getting a lot of those hits, the small ball, like a bunch of singles, scoring runs. They win 7-4. The second game, they nearly got no hit.
They got one hit. Exactly.
Yeah, they got one hit by, again, Brandon Marsh. So if it weren't for Marsh, it would have been a no-hitter. And that's embarrassing.
Very. It is.
It's still embarrassing, even though they got that one hit by Marsh. It's like we like you better when you're scoring runs. Stay in that.
Yeah, right. It's definitely more enjoyable to watch because either way, I have to watch this game. We got to be informed for the podcast, so we got to watch them, whether that pains us or not. But, I mean, I've liked. I mean, everybody knows how high I was on Kimbrel when we got him, and his last outing was very good. I think it was game money yesterday, so that outing was pretty good. Soto has, other than his first couple games, has been fantastic. What kind of hit was that? Perfect, got out. But Soto has been great, and the bullpen itself hasn't really been an issue. It hasn't. It's the starters.
Exactly. That it has been a struggle for the starters to go past like the fourth,
The third.
yeah, like Falter went far into the game yesterday, 7 through 7, I believe.
Yep.
And he retired after giving up that home run in the first. He retired like 14 or 15 batters in a row. Yeah. So he redeemed himself. But yeah, the starting pitching is a concern.
It's absolutely a concern. I mean, Wheeler and Nola just haven't looked like themselves. Wheeler started against the is it the Reds or the White Sox? His latest start. I don't remember which one.
That was the White Sox.
The White Sox, that's right. So yeah, it was game 1.
Mm-hmm.
So the Phillies put up 5 in the first. I believe they even bat around. I don't know for sure. I don't remember, but I believe they batted around. And next inning, Wheeler gives up 4. Like that just can't happen. That's not like Wheeler, and that just can't happen in general from any of your starters.
Yeah, agreed. And like to start off, he did look a lot like himself before he started giving up those runs.
Yeah.
Speaking of like defensive plays, he had this amazing. The ball came right to him, and then he like threw it right to first so smoothly. Like that's the Zach Wheeler that we're used to. Ice in his veins, just throwing gas, and I think him and Nola both haven't really shown that much command, which is surprising. It's frustrating. You can only blame the World Series hangover for so long.
Right. And now I was watching the NBCS Philadelphia post game yesterday, and I forget who said it. It was either Ruben, T-Mac, one of them. They said that the pitch clock, you get shaken up for, a hit or two that rattles you a little bit, but then you don't have the time to collect yourself and get it together, which could have led to what we saw yesterday when he let up 4 runs. And, when we interviewed Kurt Landis, he said that they had the pitch clock for 5 years and they're just starting to strictly enforce it there now. But pitchers like Wheeler and Nola haven't been in the minors in almost a decade for both of them.
Yeah.
So they're not familiar with the pitch clock anymore. They don't have anything related to that anymore. So it's going to take pitchers like that a little more time to get used to it. And I know that's not an excuse. Like, you're an ace, act like an ace.
Mm-hmm.
But this is also, it's true at the same time. So you can also only blame the pitch clock for so long too. So I mean,
exactly. And they had it in spring training. Not that they were pitching that much, and Wheeler did voice in his interview that he didn't like it
at all. He did not like it.
He did not mince words. He was upfront about not liking it. But then again, yesterday wasn't his first start of the season. He's had time, and the other start. It's like they're all going through this together. That just because you had your routine and you liked to do things a certain way. I mean, the other guys are adjusting too. So, like we were saying before, Falter and Strom had been really showing up the most.
Yeah, they have. And I mean, I guess maybe with the minors, because Falter was sent down the minors last year a few times and everything.
Yeah, you're right. That's true.
So, are you looking at the White Sox mascot right now?
Yeah, I'm a couple of seconds ahead of you.
Are you? Okay. Well,
but yeah, he was holding
Astros there.
What?
Is he pulling an Astros there?
Oh, see, I was focused. He had like a little camcorder from the 90s. And he was like recording. So maybe. Speaking of, the Phillies are playing the Astros soon, which is related to our announcement that we made last week for people who might not have seen.
Yes. So for those who have not noticed or haven't seen anything or didn't watch last week's episode, we are doing a live pregame show with drunk Phillies fans, and we're going to be doing a watch party. The watch party is invite only. It is a private garage bar. It's their house. So obviously privacy is a big thing especially with people on social media you don't know. So that's all the privacy is set. So, but the pregame show is going to be live. It's going to be great. They're going to be on it. It's going to be a fun time. And it's going to be during the Astros. So I'm going to be making a lot of jokes.
Oh, yeah. Jokes will be made. A lot of things. A lot of things will be said, and we'll have beers in hand. It'll be amazing. I'm really looking forward to it.
So excited.
Oh, Josh Harrison. Oh, I won't spoil it. I'll wait for you to get.
No, you can spoil it.
Stott hit a double.
The streak continues. Dude, he just pulls that. What? All right, Stotty.
And once again, this is why banning the shift was great.
Yeah, dude, Stott's hitting 1,000 this year.
Bryce Stott, would you say, is the best player?
In all of Major League Baseball, and it's not close. There we
And
go.
Harrison, he got hit in the foot, or
Yeah.
but he was running really fast. Credit to him. You can tell
Yeah,
it's kind of tender.
It looks like he would have made it if he stole. I don't know if it was 2 outs in a full count, which it might have been.
We're really multitasking here, people.
Yeah, especially with my ADHD, it's a struggle. But the live reactions are a good thing to have.
Yeah.
Ooh,
another good thing happened.
If it's a home run, you got to tell me because we got.
No, it's not a home run because then we would have to post our graphics.
Right, exactly. Shout out Marley, by the way. Amazing graphics.
Once again, Marley. We've talked about her before, but
Not gonna stop.
she does all of the graphics for Bell Smashers podcast. I want to share her. I'm trying to find her. Okay, at Marley, Marlee, and then 2 underlines, and then Herman, Herman. Go follow her. She's incredible, so talented, and we are so lucky.
Yes.
That she does our graphics.
Yeah, feel very fortunate that she is willing to do this for us. A lot of people seem to actually like them, so it's kind of cool. My favorite one has to be the JT one, though.
You read my mind. I was just going to ask you which of Marley's graphics are your favorite, but we have 2 JT ones. Again, people may not have seen. So there's one for when he throws a runner out at second.
That's my favorite.
And then there's another one when the other team tries to do it, but they're not successful. So it says, "You wish you had JT."
Yeah,
I like that one.
The other one's my favorite because it has music making fun of the player that got out, and that's just kind of my style, making fun of things like that. So, especially when it happened with the Marlins, it was
so
funny.
good.
It's so funny because JT was a Marlin. But with this whole week has been a roller coaster. I mean, they put up 14 runs on the Reds?
Yeah, on Sunday. I have the schedule up as well so we can see the scores. So, the Reds series, first of all. First game, they lost 6-2. Second game, they won 8-3. On Saturday's game, they lost 13-0. And then Sunday's game, they won 14-3. Again, it's either 0 or 100 with this team.
Yeah, it is. And like we said in the beginning, they've got to be consistent.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at least, we can kind of gauge it. Like when they have a huge offensive explosion in one game, the next game probably won't be that. But the consistency needs to go when, build off of that high scoring game. Build off of that and good things will happen. And for a team that is currently 7 games behind in the NL East, it won't. They got to get it together sooner.
I agree. As much as we talk about the season being 162 games, you can only be this far behind for so long before it becomes a permanent thing.
Exactly. And I mean, there is 3 wild card spots this year.
Mm-hmm.
So while we do have that, you still don't want to be where we were last year, waiting till the 159th, 160th game of the season to officially make the playoffs. And you don't want to rely on a divisional opponent who was not good last year to beat the team you're going up against for that spot.
I agree. You want to go into the playoffs like in a comfortable position, not having to scoreboard watch every night. Not to mention, it's extremely stressful for the fans.
Dude, it was exhausting for us last year. And, you know, when we made the playoffs, I don't remember if we had officially just like talked about the podcast yet. At that point, I know it was during the postseason where we were like officially starting to plan it. But we did that Twitter space with everybody, and everybody was stressing out. Why are you smiling? Did something
No,
happen?
nothing happened yet. I was remembering the first time you and I talked was on a Twitter space.
Oh yeah, it was. And now look at this. It's kind of
I know.
But like while it is early, you can still be frustrated. That just because you're frustrated does not mean you think the season's over. We're all frustrated, regardless of how positive we are really trying to be. There are definitely positives. Gregory Soto's coming back. Strom, aside from that one inning or that one game against Cincinnati, has been lights out to start the season as a reliever, coming in as a starter. Fantastic. Falter, aside from that 3-run home run, been very solid, very, very solid. Stott's batting well over 300. Trey Turner, Castellanos, Bohm, Sosa, Marsh, all batting over 300.
I have a couple more to add to that. Sir Anthony in yesterday's first game against the White Sox, he finally looked like himself again. I think it was a 1-2-3. If not, it was very close to a 1-2-3 inning. Alvarado's Alvarado. He's been so consistent.
Strike one, strike two, and good friggin' luck.
Yes. And I don't know if we talked about it, but his NL championship ring, like the box, says that on there too, which made me so happy to see.
It's just so iconic to him.
Mm-hmm.
And it was such a mantra for that team last year, and it just fits Jose Alvarado now because, I mean, look at him. Aside from that one game where he gave up the home run, I believe it was.
Yeah.
He has been the Alvarado we know.
Yes.
And thoroughly enjoyable to watch.
I completely agree. And then we talked about this a little bit with T-Pat Stubbs, but Bryce Harper, he's coming back very soon, and he is learning to play first base.
Yeah, he is. And while I don't think he's going to be playing first base at all, it's definitely a good backup.
Yeah, I'm sure that's the real reason. Again, like you never know what's going to happen. So
no, you don't. And a lot of people are freaking out about him getting rushed in. Harper will not rush it. If Harper is good, he's good. The doctors are going to. He has one more step. He has to be cleared one more time, and he's gonna be playing. He might not even be playing for Lehigh Valley.
Right.
Which I don't know how I feel about that. Because while he is Bryce Harper, and he is him, and he is, aside from Stott, the best player in baseball, I would feel more comfortable with him going to Lehigh Valley and getting used to that pitch clock in a minor league setting, getting used to pitching again. I know he was facing Ranger Suarez yesterday or the day before, or Tuesday or Monday, whenever, Friday when this goes live. But like, I know it's Harper, and regardless if whatever he does, I trust him. He's going to be fine. And this lineup desperately needs his bat. but I would like to see him have a couple, like a week at Lehigh Valley like he did last year. He didn't need it at all.
Was it a week? See, I'm remembering him going there. He hit a home run right away, and then they were like,
Two home runs
okay.
that game.
What?
He hit 2 home runs that game, and he
Yeah,
was
and
the
then
next game.
and then they were like, okay, you're ready.
Yeah,
That was my memory.
That's exactly what happened. And the frustrating thing is, I was at his final Lehigh Valley game, which turned out he went back to Philadelphia that day. So
Yeah, so
great.
I don't think he needs it. I think it's a waste. If he thinks it's a waste of his time and he'd rather just go straight back to our lineup, then works for me.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's Bryce Harper. So if he does decide, he's not going to go to Lehigh Valley, but it's not confirmed yet. So if he does decide to skip Lehigh Valley, that's fine. I just overthink a lot of things, and this is one of them. But it's Bryce Harper, so I trust whatever he does.
I'm still in shock. Like I can't Tommy John surgery. That's not a minor thing.
It's not a minor thing at all, as we all know. That drastically changes a pitcher's career most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a pitcher is out for a year and a half.
Yeah.
But obviously, it's different for a position player because, especially with the designated hitter, which thank goodness exists in the NL now,
Yep.
because we would not have had Harper at all last year
Yep.
without it. But it's not as drastic on a position player because you're not throwing in a weird way. You're throwing in a very natural position. You're not throwing like this. So it's a lot faster in terms of recovery. And he was fine to swing on a torn one last year. So if he's fine to swing, he can swing now. The issue is just sliding. Don't want
Yes.
him to, people are concerned about him getting hit in the elbow by a pitch.
Mm-hmm. That's a valid concern.
I don't think that tears UCLs. I don't think that tears ligaments. I mean, aside from actually like the concern of like breaking your elbow.
Yeah, I'm not sure that would affect the ligament, but I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure you just really want him to protect that area at all costs.
Yes, please. So there you do have that, but
And Suarez is coming back soon-ish also. Like you mentioned, Harper took live batting practice off of Ranger Suarez, which was really, really cool to watch.
Yeah, it was. It's just that man is superhuman. And that's why he's like the only player I would feel comfortable with not doing a rehab assignment.
Same.
It makes me nervous just because I overthink everything with things like that. But if it's going to be anybody to skip it, I'm fine with it being him.
And just think about preseason and the off season, they were like, yeah, it'll be like around the All-Star break or after the All-Star break.
He's going to have the All-Star game.
Literally, like, people were like, is he going to be in the lineup next week? Like,
is he starting? Is he going to be here on opening day? Like, that's how close it is. And, I truly don't think they're rushing him.
I don't either.
Harper, his pain tolerance is very high.
Mm-hmm.
So there's also that aspect. If he can tolerate it, he's gonna play. And he's gonna do whatever he can to help this team. He has shown that time and time again. And it's just, I don't know. He's just different. It's wild.
He is like one of those once in a lifetime type of athletes, not just MLB players, just athletes.
Yeah.
We're so lucky to have him on the Phillies.
And it's funny. I've talked about this before, even when when we did the Fired Up Sports' 100th episode. I did not originally want Harper.
Yeah, you did say that, and I said I did.
Sometimes the takes I believe in every take I believe in the most never comes to fruition. So this one was expected to not come to fruition as well. But we're in the DC area. I grew up here. So I grew up with Bryce Harper being national. And he's been in this league for a decade. And he was in the minors for, I don't even think he was in there for officially 2 years before he got caught up to DC. And so, his attitude was very different in DC than it is in Philadelphia. I can tell you all that right now. He's a very different person in Philadelphia.
I mean, even the way he used to talk to the journalists and the media, everyone knows what I'm talking about. I don't have to say it, but
Yep.
The fights he would get in, and now he's, we might have to use a grab. Oh, no, we're not going to use the grab.
Hey, him fighting Papelbon is the best thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, that was pretty great.
It was hysterical.
He's grown so much as a person. Obviously, now he has 2 young kids, but also just as a player and as a leader in the clubhouse, which is amazing.
Yeah. And I mean, that comes with age, especially. But I can see why you thought that we need a graphic.
I was hoping JT just missed a home run.
That looked blasted.
Yeah.
Shucks. No, but a lot of kids, especially one like him who was on Sports Illustrated, I believe, and who's just this clear-cut #1 guy, can't miss prospect, clearly is true. There comes some sort of potentially I don't know how to say it properly, but he has very much changed who he is. And at first I wanted, because if people, just started watching the Phillies or don't remember, it was between Harper and Machado. And the Phillies were going to go after Machado first because of his defensive capability and how they could play both short and third. And we had Alec Boehm coming up the rankings too, so that would have been very deadly left infield. But now you have Trey Turner, so I'm fine with that. And I agreed with the Phillies at the time, but Bryce, I can't get over how great Bryce has been for this organization. He has catapulted this organization at least a decade.
And we talked about that on Fired Up too. At first, some people were like, "Ugh, there's so much pandering," him wearing the Fanatic stuff and just doing, really trying to blend into Philly. But it makes sense and it fits when you see him, especially when you see him now. You're like, it's a fit.
It first of all, it is a fit, but there's Bryce Harper pandering, and then there's that dude that lawyer with the I'm John Morgan or whatever sign.
Yeah.
And spelled John like JWN.
Yeah.
And another one saying "use hurt."
Right.
There's Bryce Harper pandering, and then there's that dude's pandering.
I agree. People who complain about our athletes and coaches pandering, I'm like, what else do you want? Do you want them to not care? Do you want them to, I don't know. I like the cute little t-shirts that they make. I like when they're wearing a Phillies player's wearing a Sixers hoodie.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Yeah, and I mean, you can kind of tell when it's pandering and when you genuinely love the city you play for. And Bryce loves being here,
Yeah, that too.
and Bohm does
Not
too, by the
pandering.
way.
Yeah. Like
Bohm loves us too.
they love it.
They do, and I mean, it it's nice to also see the front office care so much. And we had T Pat last week, and he said that you don't see many. I'm paraphrasing here, but basically what we were talking about was, you don't see many owners on the field getting the baseballs, putting them back in the bucket. You don't see that.
But ours does.
Ours does, and you don't see many owners at an NLDS game in the concourse with everybody. You don't
Oh
see
yeah,
that.
you met Mr. Middleton.
I did meet him, and you don't see that by many owners,
Yeah.
if at all. And
And right. And once again, it's not pandering, it's genuinely caring.
yeah, and I mean, you put so much money into this team. You have two $300 million players that are here for a decade. You have JT, so that's $700 million in just three players over the span of their contracts. And Bowman's gonna get a contract soon. Um, Alvarado and Sir Anthony are on small deals; they're gonna get paid again. So when you put this much money into a team, and when you have a team in general, I don't see why owners wouldn't care about it. I mean, you look at the Athletics; it's just a money grab for him. He doesn't care,
Yeah, agreed.
and it's not fair to the fans.
Yeah. And because we're such passionate fans, like we deserve it. I'm glad we
Yeah,
have
absolutely.
I'm glad we have these people.
Yeah, exactly. And shout out Middleton,
Mhm.
and I believe I blanking on the other owners. I don't remember the ownership group, but they're like they clearly care. And for a city that cares so much about their teams, it's nice to see that they care as
Yeah.
well.
Yep.
Because I mean, you have the Detroit Lions. I know that's football, but you have the Lions who have just been terrible. And I don't think it's for a lack of care, but you also have these owners that don't care.
Yeah,
And
it's just the same way we were talking about, you can tell when the vibes are off in a clubhouse and the players are not vibing. It's the same. You can tell when it's just because the Phillies have such strong relationships from top to bottom, that is very apparent. And similarly, you can tell when it's not that way.
yeah, exactly. And I mean, like we always say, this team really does feel like a family.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know we have been struggling for the last 3 weeks, and things have gone not our way a lot of the time, and there's quite a few issues that need to be worked out. But and Topper is not innocent in all this. He's made some questionable things, which
Yeah. Agreed.
as a manager, all managers make some questionable things, and this is his first full year as a manager. He's not managing a team that was completely dead with a manager that just did not match the style of the players. Um like I will never get over how much this team rallies around Topper. Like you didn't see it with Kapler or Girardi, I ride with Philly Gabe or I ride with Philly Joe. That's not a thing.
There was even a new shirt like a week or two ago
Yep.
with Rob on it.
And guess what that was in the midst of a huge struggle early on.
Mm-hmm. And and that too. Like, yeah, they've been struggling, but again, you can see them in the dugout with like the golden thumb and Stubbs using the head scratcher and
Which is hysterical.
Yeah, it was. And Teapot even said that. He's like, they're having fun. They know, obviously, they know their record isn't great.
Yeah.
But they were still trying to keep it light and fun because that's what you have to do when the season is so long.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, the players, you know, they're showing their personalities now, and you know, Schwarber is getting more pissed off at popping out or striking out. He's getting so mad, which
Oh my
I,
gosh.
I love to see that because it shows he cares.
Me too.
And I read an article, I forget who it was. I think it was Alex. She wrote about when Bohm said how much he hated this place and how Castellanos really helped him. And I mean, Castellanos is a calm, cool, collected guy most of the time, except when he's getting ejected, which, by the way, hysterical in person. The fans loved it.
Yeah.
And you were there.
I was.
It was great. But even Castellanos is showing his personality now. And I mean, that's what the city loves.
We do. We do. And again, that is why I truly believe these, as long as they can get their stuff together with the weird base running mistakes and not scoring with runners in scoring position, that this team has so much potential again because they have great chemistry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, Topper's going to figure it out. He's not an idiot. He'll figure out what works. And that's what the early season is for, figuring out what works for your team. And, you know, Stott leading off clearly works. And Turner being second would have worked perfectly today if Stott got on base, but, you know, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's a long season, and I don't care how mad people get at the positive people like us because it's 162 games.
Yeah. And we're still going to be here 2 months from now, 4 months from now, and hopefully like 6 months from now and deep in the playoffs. And those people will be there too, but
exactly. They will act like they did nothing.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And they'll act like they weren't feeling this way in April. That's why I said, oh, some of you are very new to April Phillies baseball.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah. Well, welcome to the ride. Grab a seat. It's a long run.
Well, I have a question. We could turn this into a segment potentially. Who do you feel like, because they do this on the broadcast, who is your Philly of the week? And then I'll maybe do like an honorable mention if you have another guy that you want to.
So a man of the week brought to you by Manscaped? Is that what you're thinking?
Use code BELLSMASH at checkout for 20% off and free shipping. So man of the week, Phillies man of the week.
Well, both had hit streaks. But do I want to go offensive player? I don't know. I'm gonna go with Stott because of the record and because the home run, with an honorable mention to probably Gregory Soto. Oh, that's not fair.
Well, you have to tell the people what you're reacting to.
I forget who their center fielder is, but he had a good catch against Trey Turner. That's not fair, man.
Yeah.
I always turn it to Gold Gloves. Who's your man of the week brought to you by Manscaped?
I know. I was thinking use code BELLSMASH at checkout. I was like, I hope she doesn't take mine. Well, Stott, I also have to choose Stott. Just he literally made franchise history this week. 17 game hitting streak to start off the season. So that was incredible. He should be so proud of that. It's been, again, such a joy to watch him grow. And again, you're like, oh my gosh, he's a Philly. He's a homegrown Philly.
Exactly.
It's so exciting. He's only just getting started.
Yeah.
My honorable mention is Nick Castellanos.
Yes.
Just he's being so consistent, getting those singles, doubles, getting those RBIs. He hasn't hit a home run yet. He's had a few, like at least one that just almost did it. So hitting for power again, really pulling the ball, finding those gaps, and really contributing. And once again, he also has a huge presence in the clubhouse as that one of the veterans, and we're seeing him come out of his shell a lot too.
Yeah.
So I love the one game where Stott was doing the post-game interview. Oh, after the walk-off, the Stott walk-off, which I was also at.
I swear, you
And
love everything. You see everything
It's me.
Scott does in it really is. Like I haven't. He's my favorite player, and I haven't seen him hit a home run. I haven't seen him had a walk off yet. I hadn't seen him. I've only seen him have like a single. That's it.
Okay, I just had like a mind blown moment. So your favorite is Stott, and my favorite is Reese. You always see Reese hit home run, obviously before the injury, and I see Stott like hit homers or like do great things. So it's just that's why.
So I think the solution is we need to go to every single game together. And that way, like it's surefire Reese and Stott are doing something.
Yeah. But I was saying Castellanos, like he went up to Stott, he tried to distract him while Schwarber like poured the water on him. That was so funny.
Yeah. It's like this team, I will never not talk about it because this team clearly feels like a family. And it's refreshing to see because, this team has been through so much the last decade. And we were all waiting for this baseball team to get it together finally after 10 years. And they saw how much we showed up in the postseason. We clearly helped them get to the World Series in a way. And obviously, we weren't the ones playing, but our home field advantage with the fans is real. There's no other team yelling DUI, yelling Strider. There's no other team doing that.
Yeah.
Getting into the heads of the other team, which I don't think he did anything that game where they were chanting DUI. I don't think he did.
No.
Which makes it even funnier. Because who else chants that?
That's right.
Besides intoxicated Philly fans, and that's why we're the best. Creative.
And another honorable mention, Taijuan Walker has now pitched through 6 innings. Yay!
Finally, yay! Our pitchers are pitching again.
I think his pitch count is in the 70s, so hopefully he stays in the 7th. He's got that comfortable lead. So
yeah,
Brandon Marsh just made an amazing catch at center field.
Haven't gotten to that yet. Oh, there we go.
Yeah. So a lot of honorable mentions, but I'm glad we called out.
That was almost gone.
Yeah, it was.
Good job, Marshy.
So we can rob home runs too.
Yeah. I swear, every time a player plays against us, one of them's going to be a Gold Glove caliber. Every time.
Yeah. All of a sudden.
That wouldn't have been gone. That would have just been like 2 inches shy of going over the wall.
Yeah.
Regardless, it was still very good because you never know what can happen. Because yesterday in the doubleheader, I tweeted out, seconds before it happened, I tweeted out, nice grab by Bohm. That could have been a lot worse than a single. And the next pitch goes out. So I blame me on that one. That one's on me. I'm sorry. But they should have come back from a 3-0. Like,
yeah.
They got a hit.
Yep.
So it's all on me.
It's true. Like, Falter did his thing, but the offense didn't. So that's the struggle sometimes.
Yeah. They need to that's like the biggest thing they need to work on. Like everybody getting it. It's not going to happen every time. but it would be nice for sometimes the pitching and the offense to work at the same time. More times than it
Once in a
has
while.
Please, like,
Yeah.
please?
I don't know what's going on with Wheeler and Nola, but hopefully soon they'll get it together, look like the old selves again.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to get used to the pitch clock. They're big mental guys,
Yeah.
and Wheeler. I don't know how many people remember this or know this, but Wheeler picked us because we're an analytics-based team.
Mm-hmm.
And he likes what we do with analytics, and I guess that's why our pitching has been better lately. But he picked us because of how analytics based we were, and
Yeah.
the pitch clock can really affect the mental aspect, and because analytics is a lot of mental stuff.
Yep.
You're thinking about a lot, and so when you're thinking about that with the pitch clock, it all he'll get used to it. But he's got to get used to it faster.
Agreed.
As much as I love Wheeler, he's my favorite pitcher, but
I love him too.
I would say he's my favorite since Roy Halladay.
Yeah. I think same. He's great.
Especially since he had that incredible game on Halladay's retirement.
Oh my gosh. Just thinking about that. I was so emotional.
I was right here, actually, watching it.
Yeah, that was. He was like, I felt like Roy was like pitching through me. That was, oh my gosh.
150% he was.
Yeah, I believed that too. How can you not?
Oh yeah, they have the Mother's Day thing on May 7th.
Mm-hmm.
I got to go to that because I want the bag.
I will say the stuff they're giving out looks cute.
It does. I really like the bucket hat too. I want to get that. I don't know if you remember, but they gave out when they were doing the retirement ceremony or something for, not the retirement ceremony. They were doing I forget what it was, a ceremony type thing with a lot of the 2008 guys or something, and they gave out World Series rings from 2008 when Ryan Howard, whatever they were doing on his day. Or was it Jimmy Rollins? It was one of the two. Like they're pretty good at giveaways.
Yeah, I can't. Oh, we've talked about it before, but I love a good giveaway, and that is what gets a lot of people in the seats.
Yeah. Last year when the Phillies came to DC for the last time before they went to Houston for the final series of the season, they were handing out sweatshirts, and I actually forgot mine at home. And it was freezing. And if you know what the sweatshirt looks like, you'll be able to tell in the picture because I took a picture with T-Mac in it. But I had my jersey over it, and it was buttoned up. Like there was no national showing. No way was it going to show.
Mm-hmm.
But that saved me that day because it was freezing.
You're better than me. I give away any nationals things to real friends that are actually going to use it. Although I have one Pride T-shirt, which I love. Yeah. But other than that, yeah, I'm like, nope, this is not for me. Even the City Connects is cute. I think I have one of the ice cream helmets that are City Connect colors. Because they have the best City Connect jersey, in my opinion.
They do. At 150%, they do. And, we're in the DC area. We are feet away from the cherry blossom trees. And when you think of cherry blossom, there's a lot of ways they can mess it up.
They nailed it.
They absolutely killed it. And aside from the powder blues for us, and pretty much every team that has a powder blue, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Except the Cardinals. I'll never give them props. But they're up there with some of the best jerseys in all of baseball.
Yeah, they look so good. And
I hate giving them props.
I know I haven't bought any of that, but I was tempted. And I
I
have the
wouldn't
ice
do
cream
that.
helmet. So that's what I'll do. That's
I
the most I'll do.
I didn't even know they did that for the ice cream helmets. I gotta get one
Mhm.
then. When
Yeah.
we go to the Nats game, we gotta do that.
Yeah, I don't know if they're still doing it this season. I hope so.
The City Connect or the ice cream helmets?
The helmet, like the helmets that are City Connect colors.
I hope so.
We'll see.
don't
I haven't
know.
been to a game yet this season
I
here.
haven't either. Well, that's because they don't play the Phillies, and who really
Yeah.
plays with the Nationals? But it looks like Taiwan Walker's coming out for the 7th inning,
Good.
so we got that going for us. Hopefully, it ends on a bright side because the hour's basically up, which means
Yeah.
so is this podcast.
I know.
Kind of flies by when there's a game.
It does. That was fun.
As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully, everything goes well within the next couple of days of before this podcast goes live. As
Yeah.
March could have had that one, but before this goes live on Friday, hopefully the next couple of days are satisfactory baseball for the Phillies. So yeah, so see you Friday, and then we will see you guys next week.
All right. Thanks.
Bye, guys.
Bye.